Welcome to the Past in Pictures channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one.
The concrete structure that resembles a dome, located by the sea, refers to Runit Dome, a nuclear waste tomb left after weapons tests in the 1970s. Its deterioration shows the environmental dangers linked to storing radioactive materials. In Scotland in 1971, growing urban tension led to a greater police presence, reflected in the scene of a plainclothes officer stopping an assault with a sharp object amid a noisy crowd, marking a period of challenges in maintaining order in cities. The eruption of Mount St. Helens on May 18, 1980, marked one of the largest volcanic events in United States history, causing destruction and major environmental changes. The rapid evacuation of residents and researchers, including the photographer who captured the scene, shows the importance of volcano monitoring to save lives. The construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961 divided families and intensified isolation between the two Germanys, marking a crucial episode of the Cold War. In this context, the action of an Eastern soldier who went against official orders illustrates human tension under a political system marked by strong state control. The arrival of Vietnamese children in the United States in 1975 symbolized the end of the Vietnam War. This immigration, marked by scenes of displacement during an international crisis, strengthened changes in humanitarian aid and the reception of displaced people, reflecting the impact of that period. Men in military clothing observe a damaged concrete structure, a sign of strong instability in the 1990s, a period marked by internal disputes and interventions. This setting influenced political reconstruction and the future of affected communities during that time. The end of the Cold War and the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 symbolized the defeat of communist regimes in Eastern Europe. Solidarity between West Germans and East Germans, shown through food and drinks exchanged at the border, marked the beginning of the country's reunification and the transformation of the European political landscape. During the 1940s, security needs led to the creation of specific roles, such as food tasters for leaders. Margot Wolk, responsible for this task, was one of the first to face this delicate role by testing food for the German leader, marking a singular episode from that period. During the winter of 1944 and 1945, the Netherlands faced a severe crisis because of hunger caused by the German occupation, which restricted the supply of essential food. Children holding spoons represent the extreme deprivation of those months, a period marked by hardships that showed the strength and resilience of the population under difficult conditions. At the beginning of the 20th century, child labor in textile factories pushed changes in labor laws in the United States, with laws gradually restricting child labor. These actions marked progress in protecting children's rights and regulating the workplace. During the 2nd century, Roman mosaics like the Zliten mosaic portrayed scenes of public entertainment, arena contests, and ceremonies with broad popular appeal, reflecting the empire's culture of spectacle and social control. These works helped people understand public life in ancient Rome. In the 1920s, the combination of sports and aviation marked a time of innovation and boldness. Ivan Anger, a pioneer in the sport, represented this phase in which technological progress and the modern lifestyle crossed paths, giving momentum to the development of aviation and the sports movement in Brazil. After World War II, sending humanitarian aid trains, such as those from the Red Cross, became essential to ease suffering in devastated Europe. In 1947, the work of these organizations marked international efforts of reconstruction and solidarity. During preparations for the Normandy invasion in 1944, deception strategies were crucial to mislead German forces, including the use of inflatable tanks that created a false appearance of invasion at different points in France. These tactics marked a decisive advance in the war and in military history. During World War II, tank crews faced harsh conditions while protecting their machines and fellow soldiers, often using umbrellas to stay dry during battles and maneuvers. This endurance was crucial for sustaining the war effort and advancing in the capture of territory. In the 1930s, the Great Depression affected the interior of the United States, leading many families to seek shelter in simple structures, such as wooden cabins and canvas tents. The presence of military personnel reflected social instability and security measures during this difficult period in Texas. In the 1920s, the innovation of aerial photography allowed a new perspective on cities like Edinburgh, Scotland, revealing architectural and urban details that had once been invisible. This technique marked an important advance in urban documentation, supporting planning and historical studies. Sailing on the ocean, the crew of a nuclear aircraft carrier stages a symbolic display with Einstein's formula E equals mc squared, in a demonstration of military technological progress. This action reinforced the projection of United States naval power during the Cold War. During the 20th century, the presence of monkeys in Gibraltar became a matter of symbolic importance, tied to the superstition that their departure could lead to the fall of the territory. To protect the tradition, the government brought in more primates, strengthening the link between local history and Gibraltar's reputation. In 1937, New York City officials intensified actions against illegal activities by destroying seized slot machines and items collected in operations, symbolizing the fight against urban disorder during the Prohibition era. This measure reinforced the authorities' effort to strengthen law enforcement in the city. The Pirates' victory in the 1960 World Series marked a historic moment by ending a 35-year title drought. In the black and white photo, reflecting the styles of the time, the architecture of Forbes Field symbolizes the height of baseball before modern stadiums were introduced. During World War II, disguise strategies such as using stylized elephants protected British military equipment in India, which was a British colony at the time. These tactics helped confuse enemies, contributing to the defense of strategic positions in the tropical region. During World War II, public demonstrations in Moscow strengthened the country's mobilization in response to the German offensive that took place in 1941. These events showed the spirit of resistance and unity among the Soviet people, which was essential for victory in 1945. The formal recognition of indigenous leaders by prominent figures, such as President Calvin Coolidge in 1927, reflected efforts to integrate and value native cultures in the United States. The ceremony marked progress in the attempt to promote respect and official recognition for tribes. The construction of the Statue of Liberty's pedestal reflected 19th century technical progress and symbolized freedom and hope. Completed in 1885, it marked an important milestone in United States history, strengthening the presence of freedom as a core value in the country's identity. The construction of the United States Capitol Dome in 1857 marked an advance in public architecture, symbolizing the growth of political power. This work reflected the importance of strengthening government and national identity, influencing future designs for government buildings. The presence of an excavator on top of a mountain reveals the early phase of urbanization and expansion in the Los Angeles area in the 1920s. During this period, the construction of the Hollywood sign marked the development of the film industry, which pushed the city's economic and cultural growth. In New York in 1902, electric taxi drivers represented an innovation that anticipated the shift toward more sustainable transportation during the 20th century. This change helped reduce urban pollution, establishing the city as a pioneer in technology and mobility. The Citroën DS-19, featuring a futuristic 1957 design, symbolized advances in the automobile industry by adding aerodynamic lines and innovative technology, marking a phase of modernization in Europe and influencing the look of later vehicles, while also reflecting optimism during post-war reconstruction. In the 1980s, Space Invaders took over the world, leading to the first major video game tournament with 10,000 participants, promoted by Atari. This initiative marked the beginning of large-scale events in gaming culture and pushed the growth of the electronic gaming industry, shaping its global future. In the 1980s, the rise of video game consoles transformed home entertainment, symbolizing the spread of electronic gaming culture. This period marked a phase of technological innovation that shaped cultural consumption and established the gaming industry as a global phenomenon. In the 1960s, the fame of television and magazine stars grew in Brazil, reflecting the atmosphere of modernity and cultural freedom of that period, marked by social changes and by the image of figures like Vicky Dugan, who gained attention in international media and influenced fashion and beauty standards. In the 1950s, Marilyn Monroe gained worldwide fame and became a symbol of glamour and sensuality, influencing fashion and popular culture. Despite her fame, she also faced personal and professional challenges that shaped her path, leaving a lasting legacy in film history. During the 1960s, the popularity of suspense films in the Hitchcock-era influenced global culture. During this period, he also enjoyed family moments, as seen in this Winter record, which reinforces the value of balancing artistic success with time spent with loved ones. Helena Bonham Carter, in a modern photograph, is seated indoors in a room decorated with a classic painting on the wall and an old armchair. Her long-sleeved clothing with bright colors reflects contemporary style, while the lighting brings out details of the scene and the sharp image highlights her expression. In 1914, the presence of figures surrounding Rasputin reveals the influence of his followers in Imperial Russia, shortly before the start of World War I and the fall of Tsarism. His figure symbolized mystical power that affected political and social decisions during that unstable period. Vahidin, the last Ottoman Sultan, leaves Istanbul on November 17, 1922, marking the end of 600 years of imperial rule. The fall of the empire marked political transformation in Turkey, later strengthened by the founding of the Republic and the establishment of a new secular order in the region. Queen Victoria, at Balmoral, meets with prominent figures who marked the late 19th century, including the Crown Prince and Russian monarchs. Her presence symbolizes diplomatic relations and the strengthening of the European monarchy, whose influence shaped the political landscape of the time. In busy London, in the mid-1960s, women watched the Queen using compact mirrors, reflecting the growing attention to style and consumer culture at the time. This scene shows the value placed on fashion and vintage beauty items, landmarks of British social life. The extreme heat of 1926 in Berlin led many people to cool off in public pools, a symbol of change in urban daily life. In this context, professionals such as business people and secretaries enjoyed moments of rest by the water while the city faced one of the most intense heat waves in its local history. The signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in 1939 between the Soviet Union and Germany marked an agreement that made it easier to divide areas of influence in Europe and contributed to the start of World War II. This episode reflected power and expansion strategies among authoritarian governments of the period. A woman in a long dress and large hat walks across the frozen Mississippi River in 1905, while the structure of an iron bridge stands out in the background. This scene shows the harshness of that winter, when the urban expansion of St. Louis encouraged the growth of infrastructure. In the 1920s, clothing that recalled past decades reveals the influence of Victorian fashion, marking a transition in style with long skirts and elaborate hats, while Atlantic City's architecture reflects the glamour and prosperity of the period before the 1929 crash. The scene of a family gliding on an outdoor ice rink reveals the elegance of the 1930s, a time marked by formal clothing, neatly styled hair, coats, and long skirts. This activity reinforced the importance of leisure in a decade that tried to combine fun and style. Robert T. Lincoln's presence at the dedication ceremony of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington in the 1920s marks an important moment, strengthening the memory of Abraham Lincoln and reinforcing national unity after World War I. The tribute reinforces the importance of the president's legacy. In 1961, Louis Armstrong's presence in charming Nice showed the importance of jazz in global culture, strengthening the influence of the United States on the music scene and building cultural ties between France and international audiences. His signature marked a standout moment in jazz history. The scene shows Paris in 1890, before the completion of the Eiffel Tower, with people wearing 19th century clothing, period vehicles, and gas street lighting. This period marked preparation for the 1889 World's Fair, establishing the capital as a center of innovation and urban modernization. The image of a morning train in Japan from 1964 is linked to the country's rapid modernization after World War II and its entry into the era of mass transportation. This phase promoted economic, cultural, and technological advances that established Japan as a global power, marking deep social change. The Italian Military Cavalry School in 1906 stood out for innovating riding techniques that revolutionized obstacle jumping and influenced military training. Federico Caprilli, a pioneer of these innovations, improved the command of horsemanship, strengthening the effectiveness of the Italian armed forces and their combat strategies. The beginning of the 20th century marked the popularization of motorcycle racing, driven by technological innovations, and the pioneering work of riders like André Grapperon. Board track competition was one of the main events, contributing to the development of techniques and of the sport, now recognized worldwide. The 1920s saw technological advances in automotive engineering, including the development of hybrid vehicles, such as a car with a track system, originally designed as an innovation for military mobility. This period marked the search for stronger machines during times of global change. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Industrial Revolution accelerated the production of machines and locomotives in England, including at the Crewe factory. This transformation pushed urbanization and technological innovation, establishing the country as a railway and industrial power. Workers organized stacks of catalogs for Sears and Roebuck, one of the largest mail-order companies of the 20th century, whose growth pushed the expansion of the consumer market in the United States in the 1940s, influencing massa consumer culture. The cleaning of Venice's canals in 1956 marked an urban preservation effort by removing sediment and pollution, shown by workers in simple clothing using hand tools. This initiative highlighted the importance of maintaining the city's historic structure and navigability, vital to its tourism and cultural heritage. The formation of the River Police on the River Thames in 1798 represented a milestone in maritime security and the protection of England's commercial interests, reflecting the importance of river trade in the economy of the United Kingdom. This institution played a key role in maintaining order and safety on the region's waters. The old house in Hamburg, built with a gabled roof and small windows, reveals a look typical of a distant era. Its striking presence in the city lasted more than 4 centuries, reflecting architectural traditions, until its demolition in 1910, which marked the end of an era in local history. At the beginning of the 20th century, the New York City Hall building symbolized the architectural strength of the time, standing out for its ornate style, arches, and domed roof. Its demolition in 1939 marked the end of an era, reflecting the city's rapid urban transformation and progress. In the 1960s, the presence of classic vehicles like Volvo reflected European economic growth after post-war recovery, showing the progress of the Swedish automobile industry. During this period, Stockholm was going through urban change while preserving its old architecture. In the 1930s, Tokyo was going through rapid changes while trying to balance tradition and modernity. This era marked strong economic growth and urbanization that influenced the expansion of its city center, reflected in the architecture of old buildings and the management of local commerce. The photograph reveals a Japanese couple in the 1920s, dressed in traditional clothing, reflecting the local culture of that time, marked by advances in photography and Western influences. This stage strengthened Japan's modernization while preserving its cultural roots and promoting a national identity. During the late 19th century, cities like Leadville, Colorado experienced rapid expansion driven by the search for gold and silver, which encouraged the installation of urban infrastructure, such as light poles and business signs. These advances marked the rise of more modern and connected urban centers. Since 1897, Seattle's uneven landscape was drastically changed through regrading and urbanization, reflecting the city's rapid growth at the turn of the 20th century. These changes helped infrastructure develop and highlighted the city's urban transformation during that period. The photo reveals a period urban scene with wooden buildings, carriages, and hand carts, pointing to an American city in the 19th century. These features reflect urban growth before motor vehicles became popular and show the energy of developing commercial centers. The presence of men dressed in formal clothes and hats, beside old wagons and carriages on cobblestone streets, reveals a time when traditional transportation dominated before motor vehicles arrived. This scene, marked by street signs and advertisements, shows 19th century urban daily life. A scene shows an old American-style car parked near a masonry wall, with a structure featuring a balcony or porch in the background. People wearing cotton and polyester clothing on a partly cloudy day highlight the fashion of past decades and reinforce the vintage character of the location. Golfers wearing classic, early 20th century clothing collect balls on an open course, reflecting the tradition of the sport at the time through simple equipment and distinct clothing styles. This practice shows the custom of maintenance and care during golf matches of that era. In an outdoor setting with a well-kept lawn and large trees, a woman tests a flamethrower used in a 1970s science fiction film marking an important stage in the special effects technology during those years, which raised the realism of film productions that were innovative at the time. At the beginning of the 20th century, advances in photography made it possible to capture everyday scenes clearly, reflecting a society in transition. The presence of old equipment and period clothing shows the technological evolution that influenced historical records, documenting early experiments with machines that simulated human movements. The figure shown recalls the 19th century, a time marked by westward expansion and conflicts between settlers and native peoples in the United States. As one of the many figures connected to this period, the person represents an important phase in the formation of the country's cultural and military identity, highlighting the history of the American West. At the end of World War II in 1945, women's efforts on the front line and in industrial sectors became essential to the war effort. This image of a young woman with braided hair wearing a soldier's uniform reflects the growing participation of women in tasks previously dominated by men. In the 1980s, explorers and adventurers focused their expeditions on remote regions such as the Bieszczady Mountains in Poland, where natural beauty and vast mountain landscapes sparked fascination. This search for preserved nature reflected a desire to connect with untouched environments during that period. In 1947, visitors at the top of the Statue of Liberty reinforced its role as a symbol of freedom and hope for immigrants arriving in the United States. The photograph shows the post-World War II recovery period, strengthening New York as a center of culture and global movement. The 1860s marked crucial moments in world history, such as the Civil War in the United States, which redefined the country and expanded the debate about civil rights and freedom. During this period, people wore wide clothing and hats, reflecting their traditions and social conditions as they witnessed the social transformation to come. During the meal, a family expresses gratitude before beginning to eat, reflecting the cultural value of recognizing daily blessings and strengthening family bonds. This practice, common in past decades, reinforces the meaning of unity and gratitude in society. In the 1940s, maintaining family vehicles was a common task, reflecting the wartime economy and industrial progress that made automobiles more accessible. Women began taking more active roles in daily life, including car repair, marking an important cultural change. A woman stirs milk to make butter while reading a book, reflecting 19th century rural practices that were essential for subsistence. This common activity at the time shows the importance of handmade production in the absence of modern technology, marking a more manual way of life connected to the environment. In the 1950s, the growth of fast food and the popularity of quick meals intensified, reflecting cultural and economic changes. In this context, businesses offered options like sandwiches and drinks in busy New York locations, making quick meals easier in a fast-moving society. In 1984, the delivery of a dinosaur fossil to the Science Museum showed progress in paleontological research and interest in scientific collections. During this period, the preservation of prehistoric remains strengthened the role of institutions dedicated to knowledge and education, encouraging important discoveries. During the 1960s, innovation in photography was driven by the development of color processes. The careful preparation and use of thousands of chemical bottles by chemist Howard Rogers marked an essential step in creating color film, changing the way images were captured and preserved. During the 1930s, police officers tested life jackets on the River Thames, showing concern for public safety before improvements in maritime rules. The scene reveals the toughness of the era, with heavy clothing and serious expressions, reflecting concern for public protection. At the start of the 20th century, rural kitchens like one on a Montana farm reflected a simple and self-sufficient life, with iron stoves that provided heat, wooden and metal utensils, and wooden walls that created a practical setting. This scene marked the traditional way of life of the time. The production of the Ford Model T in 1926 marked a major step forward in mass manufacturing, making automobiles more available and changing society by bringing vehicles within reach of everyday people. This innovation boosted industrial growth and changed mobility in both cities and rural areas. The photograph reveals a moment when daily life was marked by formal style, with elegant clothing and details such as scarves. The presence of an old car and the architecture of the houses reflect the era before World War II, a period when society was going through changes that shaped urban and social development. The front of a classic building in 19th century New York reveals the glamour of jazz and piano, highlighting the importance of Steinway Hall, opened in 1867, which transformed music by providing spaces dedicated at the piano and encouraged the city's cultural growth. At the beginning of the 19th century, sculpture reflected the refinement and classical traditions of France, especially in Paris, an important cultural center. In this way, the sculpture of Madame Dimanche shows the value placed on beauty and symbolism at the time, marked by the rise of Romanticism. The image recalls the cultural impact of Aretha Franklin in the 1980s, when her collaboration with the Blues Brothers helped strengthen the revival of blues and soul in popular music. This moment reinforced the importance of black artists in American music and their lasting influence. On a morning in 1961, residents of West Berlin showed their children to grandparents in East Berlin, revealing the division between the two regions. This family exchange highlighted the impact of the Berlin Wall's construction, which began that same year and solidified the physical and political separation between East and West.